As always, we are early. We're never late. We have never been late. Nor will we ever be late, but we will always be early. Making the waiting for stream thing very important. Like, you have to queue up to gain access into this exclusive club. Otherwise, you'll miss out on the first 5 minutes of preamble nonsense, and you wouldn't want to do that now, would you?
No, you wouldn't, and if you don't get that preamble nonsense, then you're not in the cool club. You're not a part of the elite of
You are
this fandom.
not.
Yeah,
You are
you're
not indeed a cool kid.
just a peasant.
You
Bossy.
are some form of refuse, presumably placed on outside on the street to suffer and possibly die. All of these things are likely. Ah, yes. As usual, Streamlabs require me to log in, and they have to be like, so, we're going to send you a code on your phone. You have your phone on, right? Looks around himself in a concrete bunker in the middle of fucking backwater Norway. Oh, yeah. I have a phone, all right. That's good, it'll do me. But if I hold it up towards the window for long enough, the gods usually receive. Now, as the meme continues, there is indeed another There Were Gay Hobbits article. We won't even talk about it really today, but it is the meme, isn't it? The sheer deluge of we was gays back ins. It, I don't even know anymore. It's just how the world exists, okay? The Lord of the Rings is queer, and if you don't read it like a homosexual 50 Shades of Grey, there's something wrong with you.
It's just sad. It's not even funny anymore. It's just not even amusing. It's also what I always find funny about these kinds of things is you see one article pick it up and then another one, another one, another one. The hive mind system that it is, because it's just a little small inner circle of elite that just regurgitate the same garbage at each other, and it's always the same.
It is pretty much how the mainstream media currently works. It's one article that they all then regurgitate into one another's mouth holes, and then they vomit it forth into other awaiting oral cavities. It's mildly gross, but oh well.
Disco points out a good thing. Disco needs headbands, but only a little bit. We had my overlay on.
All right, you're an idiot, Kyle. But hey, that's not rare. Oh
Look,
wait.
Arch and I were dragging out the clock. Okay, we need to say this because this is the story, the lore for why that happened. Arch and I were mad. We were playing World of Warships as we always do, and we were trying to win. And that doesn't sound like it should be hard, but it was hard today. And we're like, come on, let's win this. So we're not. It's either we're gonna lose the next game and we're gonna show up to the stream mad, or we're gonna win. And the only reason why we're in good spirits is because we won.
Yeah.
You're welcome, chat. I won that game. Archer's like, what?
No, you didn't. You got your butt violated by an Iowa.
I didn't. I lived. You may have citadeled me repeatedly, but I'm still alive.
Now, then, the first proper topic for today is got to be Company of Heroes 3. And we'll touch a little bit on a couple other RTSs as well, and a little bit about that. But Company of Heroes 3, if you could, Kyle, bring up the Steam store page for it, showing the whole alpha thing.
Yep, I've got it.
There was an announcement where they were like all teasy like, oh, look at this, it's a 24-hour countdown, we're Relic, and we think that you're all idiots. So people were like, is it DLC? No, no monkeys, of course it's not DLC. And it did indeed turn out to be a kind of mediocre trailer, followed by a Company of Heroes 3 logo splash screen, confirming that yes, Company of Heroes 3 is a thing, which, again, both excites and scares me to no end.
Mm-hmm. We both have played the pre-alpha, so we already have made our thoughts on the game. Honestly, there's not much to it. I only put an hour into it. And if you played Company Heroes, it clicks. You're like, okay, it's just Company Heroes again. Not really
Yeah,
different.
it's weird. Like the trailers and the launches for both COH1 was legendary. Like when that appeared, it rocked the entire PC world. Like it was unbelievable. And graphically too. Like COH1 was unparalleled in terms of graphics. Nobody thought RTSs could.
Yeah.
Nobody had thought about the cover mechanics, and I even remember a bloody article in like one of those PC gaming rags that were around back then, which were like, these tanks are actual tanks, and shooting them with rifles won't hurt them. And I remember being like, oh my god, really? You can't kill tanks with small arms fire? How revolutionary!
I miss my veteran GIs guarding the bridge in Red Alert 2, eliminating rhinos at the cross. I'm like, get out of here! Get out!
Yeah. You just fill the bridge with GIs behind sandbags. They gun down the charging Russian tanks.
Yeah, if only it worked like that in real life. Now, I did bring up a picture just now. This is a picture, we had a conversation in our Super Squeaker chat with our friends, and Carlos had put this together. In this picture, on the left-hand side, we have Company Heroes 1, in the middle we have Company Heroes 2, and on the right we have Company Heroes 3. So you can get a little bit of an idea of the visual thing, because we actually had some complaints about the visual aesthetic of the game. And you'll notice that some people falsely say that Company Heroes 3 has more color. It doesn't. It's actually desaturated. Yep. In fact, Company Heroes 2 is the most saturated when it came to the color.
It looks like it has more color because it's really washed out and really bright. So the color just kind of glares out at you. If you go to Steam again, Carl, and you find the screenshot of the like GIs fighting in the bushes in like an area of brush.
Nighttime or daytime?
Daytime. It's the second to last picture.
Oh, yeah. There's a GI with a flamethrower, yeah.
Yes, like you can open that in full screen and look at the guys down to the bottom left, right? The guy with the grease gun there. His helmet is almost the exact same shade as the foliage behind him. Like he's illuminated. And it's actually genuinely difficult to see the guy because of how bright he is. Like he's wearing a backpack, which you can only see if you really kind of squint at him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see the backpack. I can see the spade.
Mm-hmm. This thing, you can see the spade.
That's that's how you know it's there.
Yes. It is so blown out. And I mean, on the one hand, excellent goddamn camouflage, I guess. You can also see the guy firing a grease gun up near the top left-hand side of the picture. He's really difficult to make out too. You can't even see his pants because the darks are so dark and the lights are so light. Like, it's so wow.
Yeah, we had our artist here when we were talking about it, so we were actually like noticing all the color problems. And there's actually a lot with the Company Heroes 3, like overall color design. And I know it's like it's a little thing. Yeah, it's pre-alpha or whatever. The weapon effects are bad. The like explosion effects are bad. The tracers are bad. These are things that can obviously be fixed and tweaked down the road. But it's important to point these things out because you need to, so that they can be fixed before the actual game's release.
They're literally asking for feedback with this alpha, so you got to point it out. And the saturation is a very big problem right now because it gives me actual headaches trying to play the game.
It's a bit too vibrant, and it's actually the color is actually ironically washed out, which is a shame. This is Italy. It should be very vibrant and colorful in my opinion, and instead it's very sort of whitish. And again, I'll bring up that other previous image so you can get a feel for that, where it's just kind of gray. Like there's a gray gradient over it. Now, they had that in the first one as well, but it wasn't even as strong there. Like, it's much stronger here.
The contrasts were much greater in the first and the second one.
But this is good. We're complaining about this, and that's not that bad when you think about it. Now, you played it.
There's
And I played it. What was your thoughts?
Very underwhelming. Like, I remember being kind of blown away both by COH 1 and 2. And this game, I'm just sitting there, I'm playing it, I'm like, yeah, this is Company Heroes, I guess.
It's got the stuff down. It feels like a Company Heroes game by and large when you play it. Um, but the problem I have is like I'm having a hard time seeing why should I care. Like there's British again, there's Americans again, there's Germans again,
Yes.
and it's more or less just Company Heroes again.
Yes.
And it's
Like,
not that much
for
visually better than the previous one. So like why? The only thing different that I notice is verticality with the levels. You can see it on this Italian picture here. You can see like there's a little bit of elevation, but like even so, like that's not enough for me personally.
The verticality is very nice. I also like the idea of the breaching mechanic, though we will only figure out if that one's actually a good mechanic when they do PvP. Like, that's something that has to be play tested a great deal, because on the one hand, the ability to have lots of cool buildings on the map, like have building to building combat, and have buildings be a valuable part of the tactical picture is really cool. At the same time, having a magic button that instantly kills your entire squad because they managed to press a button on your building.
Yeah, because I didn't like. I'm not a big fan of the breaching mechanic. Like I thought it would be like okay, the units have sort of like an RNG battle, and based on the unit type and the veterancy, that will help determine how they succeed in that operation. No, it just seems to be an instant win.
Yes, it is.
I
It is
don't
an
like
instant
that.
win.
I don't like that because it's like it's just guaranteed.
There's two types of breaching. Apparently, there's the grenade breach, which evicts the squad inside with one model remaining, which is like, okay, I can kind of see that. You have a chance to retreat. Fair enough, kind of. And then there's the flamethrower breach, which simply just wipes the squad. Like they're dead.
Like certain buildings, I could see it. Like let's say an enclosed bunker, right? Flamethrowers would snuff out the oxygen. That was common. But if we're talking a building like these little Italian structures, or that church in the corner there, that would not be the case. That should
No.
not evict the entire building. Anybody on the ground floor is going to be in deep shit, but the guys in upstairs are going to be fine.
I would actually prefer a bit more of an actual breaching system where the units had a fight inside of the house and give the breachers an advantage, definitely. Because otherwise, why would you breach? Like, if it's just a unit v unit, you just put an elite squad in there and you win. But there should still be a fight in there. It should take a little while to resolve, and there should always be the option to bug out and retreat.
Yeah, for either party.
Yes.
Yeah, the breaching thing needs work. It's a good idea on paper and on concept, but it needs to be refined and improved. It's too linear a system.
Definitely. But it's I'm also been looking at the Steam forums, right? And there's a lot of people who kind of misunderstand what they're doing here. And they're looking at a pre-alpha preview and they're judging the game a bit harshly. I will say, and that's coming from me, who's usually like, I don't care. I don't care if your game is alpha or beta, because it's usually marketing footage, right? This is not marketing. Like, this is an actual, genuine pre-alpha. They don't even have all the icons in the game yet.
Yeah, there's
so
all
I really
placeholders.
think, yeah, we should be a bit patient with them now and be a little bit understand. Like, okay, this is a pre-alpha. Here's our feedback. Provide them with all the feedback you can. Because there's a lot of people that I've seen have been very disappointed with this, and I get it because it is kind of underwhelming. Like,
But it's a pre-alpha, and it's a pre-alpha
yeah.
preview. And the thing I need to stress again, and actually their defense, which is weird because this is the same fucking company that gave us Dawn of War 3 and refused to acknowledge feedback. They're doing the right thing for a change here, and this needs to be pointed out. Relic is actually asking for your help with this game. Now, it's on them to actually listen. One of my biggest criticisms at the moment for this game actually stems not so much from the gameplay, but the lack of Italians on either side. Like,
Yeah, that's really disappointing because
this is Italy. Where are the Italians? If they DLC that's in my opinion, that's unacceptable. This is the Italian theme. In fact, the base campaign should be about the Italians' perspective. It's Italy. It's just like doing
we
the
need
Russian
more.
side, but without Russian.
We need more just factions. Like, the point of playing the Mediterranean was surely to add in different factions than just the Americans, the British, and the Germans.
Yeah, we've had them, okay? Like I don't mind having them again. In fact, I think they're a staple of the franchise, but give me the Italians. And then maybe as a bonus DLC, we get like, Greek reserves or something like that as just like a side thing, or Hungarians as just
I
additional flavor.
really wouldn't mind because I think the way they're going with the like add-on units, the contingent, whatever they call them, that might be really cool. Like the idea of doing something a la Steel Division, where you can, before you get into battle, construct like a mini deck almost. Like, I want to bring these units, and I want to bring these call-ins, and I want to set up like 3 presets. Then I can choose the one I want in the battle.
Yeah.
Because then they could add in Italian units, Italian infantry squads, Bersaglieri or whatever the hell they're called, the Greek units, all that kind of stuff. It could be cool.
The criticism needs to be drawn towards the inaccuracy of the American units as well. The Americans during this theater did not deploy mixed units. The Brazilians did, however. And this needs to be pointed out because the rocket troopers have mixed units when that's historically inaccurate.
Bazookas, yes.
Like, that did not actually happen. Now, the Brazilians, on the other hand, had Latinos, Caucasians, and blacks mixed in their troops. And I think some of the... If they include the African campaign, I believe a certain Axis regiment actually had mixed troops, or they had a black regiment, if I remember right. So the Axis should get some black troops as well, but like as a bonus call-in regiment or something like that.
Something like that. That could work. There's a lot of work to be done still, but hopefully it will be addressed and it will be engaged with. Now, I've also pointed out the awful splash screen, the goddamn loading screen, which looks like a cartoony, like Battlefield Heroes thing.
Yeah, it looks a little special. I mean, it's placeholder assets. See,
yes,
I understand that because my main menu for my game is literally just a bunch of text boxes, right? So I don't really blame them for that. They put on a little cute like art thing as like a little cover piece, but that main menu that has to be changed later. That
has to be changed. It's really ugly, and it's not COH in the slightest.
I actually wouldn't mind like an animated backdrop, sort of like Generals, where there's like a little bit of a battle going in the background. Give it a little bit of thematic to excite you, and get you interested.
There's a long road ahead for Relic to give us the company of heroes we want and deserve, but they are doing the right thing, and they're doing the thing that Arch told them to do. Bring the community into the development of the next game, and like good boys and girls, they bent the knee and offered their fealty to the Arch.
They do need to... This is actually a good move on them, and they do deserve praise for actually adhering to the community. Now, they did one step. Now is that they need to actually fucking follow through with that step. They need to not only...
The next step is to see if they actually listen to the feedback. That's step 2.
Because if they are as receptive as they are, like with a single player game, it wouldn't be as a big a deal. But Company Heroes centric like game span, its longevity, like is the multiplayer component. It's a massive part of the game.
Absolutely. But there it is, Company of Heroes 3. Let's be optimistic and yet also very, very cautious. Well then, let me go through a few of the super chats. We got some of them in, and one very generous one. So I should be nice. I should be nice and talk about it. Plus, the chat is talking about Boag apparently having said something spicy. I'm like, I don't know. Is that a good reason?
I can delete his stuff. Let's go see.
Delete all of his stuff. Beowulf19, curious, what is your opinion on AOE 2? You talk about RTS a lot, but never mentioned Age of Empires 2. I'm presuming, I don't remember anything else there. That can lead us into a little bit of a side rant too in a second there, but yes, Age of Empires 2 was one of the first like proper strategy games I played with a story campaign. I never played it multiplayer because I literally didn't have internet back then. But it's a good game. It's a damn good game. I wonder what Relic has done with the latest Age of Empires. I suppose we'll find out soon.
3 months, if I remember right. 3 months and we'll be covering Age of Empires 4.
It was a good game. Very good game. And I really like their way of telling a story too, with the beautifully like drawn pieces being animated. Very nice stuff. Back in the good old days of RTS. Black 1917 says, Hail Archchrist, our Lord and Savior. See, he, like Relic, understands what's up here. He does. Boag for 5 tacos, I believe. Have you read the Mamoru Hosoda interview? Digital movie girl who helps through Time Director. Translated might have inserted bullshit into it, quotes him saying, anime doesn't take women seriously. Really? Huh, I have not read that. I have not. I don't really look all that much into the stuff behind anime, honestly. Girl Who Leapt Through... Like, again, like... The Digimon movie and Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Girl Who Leapt Through Time was a very female-centric anime. And anime doesn't take women's... See, here's the thing again, right? You can fall for the SJW ploy there and take their argument seriously and be like, no, no, no. Look at Black Lagoon, for example. Look at One Piece. Look at any number of anime with powerful, strong female characters. Bullshit fucking term as it is. But no, I'm just going to reject it. Like, no, shut up. It's not a problem. Shh, shh. So I would not be surprised if they inserted bullshit into it. And then Swift Nation for a very generous $50. Overlord Arch, my Factorio factory is a mess, but it works. Thank you for blessing me with the knowledge of this game. Also, thank you for the Imperial Armor video on the Lehman Russ. I hope you and the cum sleeve are doing well. Breed kids.
No, okay. That's a bit of a twist.
Well, I mean, Kyle, you are. You kind of are. What can I say?
I don't think so.
I see the chat. Chat agrees with me. Also, chat, 300 people, but only 100 likes. I must remind you of your duty. Relic has already understood their duty. Now you must do yours.
Yes, you must unlike the video and bring it down to 69 for them. Or just like, no, my likes are disintegrating.
Feel free to downvote Kyle's videos, but not mine. Lancelot652. FGW and their greedy ways, making absolutely nothing delete his Patreon and demonetize his animations. I did indeed hear about that as too well. I believe he posted a follow-up later, basically saying that GW was very reasonable with him and so on, and I shouldn't go after them, but I'm like, really? Reasonable? Oh, hey, hi there, person. Like, you know that we'll copyright strike you if you earn money off this, so demonetize it. Because that's the only reason I can see him doing it. Like, is that reasonable? Is that reasonable? Probably is too. Like, animations of 140k is very much so a 40k product. It could be mistaken for an official Games Workshop product, because there's not necessarily anything that truly differentiates it from it. It's a problematic element of copyright law, basically, where, again, it's one of those things that is highly interpretive. In the case of making 40k animations and being specifically paid for making 40k animations, they probably would have a case, but again, every other company, even Disney and Star Wars, simply just ignores it. They don't act upon it. They certainly don't sue them. They don't take down their stuff because they know that this is advertisement for them. Having a passionate fan community producing free advertisement for your setting? The very idea of a company being like, no, you're not allowed to do that.
Oh. Hold on. Draconis points out that the U.S. military ordered desegregation in 1943. It wasn't fully enforced until after or during the Korean War, though it's not accurate to say zero integration. I don't recall reading any fucking thing about there actually being troops fighting side by side. That's not to say that it couldn't have happened, but I don't remember ever hearing about that. Because I remember looking at the Mediterranean campaign, and I don't remember hearing that happen. Like, there was the fucking Namibians or whatever, the Nambians or whatever the Axis had. I remember that, the French foreign troops, colonial ones. But I don't remember that. It's one of those things where it probably happened in Washington, but never actually happened until like after the war or during the Korean War.
That sounds more likely, because I have not heard of mixed regiments throughout the war on the US side.
They didn't get very
Let's
predominant
see.
roles even when they were.
As far as I get, like, I just did a really quick Google search on it, and desegregation of the military took place in 1948, according to just a very quick Google search. So I don't know where you got your timeline from. Maybe there's some confusion there. I do know that I was incorrect on one thing, though. In Italy, there was a colored regiment engaged in actual combat, the 92nd Division, I believe. So I was mistaken there, though it is outside of the timeline of the game, anyways, because they engaged in 1944 to 45, I think. So, like a year and a half or so later than the game is currently in. They were also assigned the 442nd Combat Regiment, the famous Purple Heart Regiment,
The more you
to
know.
bolster their ranks a little bit. Anywho, Lancelot, yeah, that one. Sujard, if they want blacks in, they should have the 99th Pursuit as your air support if they have to have it. Oh yeah, there were colored regiments, and there was also the Red Tails. You could yeah. I wouldn't mind if they played a little fast and loose with historical accuracy, as long as they introduced whole units. That'd be fine. Like, bring some Greeks in, maybe, and put them in places where they weren't actually, because they were Greeks fighting in the campaign. There were Poles fighting in the campaign, too, Canadians, etc.
There's a lot of nations that were participating as minor powers during World War II. Didn't really have
Yes.
a whole lot of influence, but they were, you could say they get their participation ribbons. They were there.
Boag says, reminder the Kib still owns Arch 6 Dota games. That is correct.
The number just keeps climbing. Strange that.
Now, on the topic of RTSs as well, a little bit of a side topic, because you showed me a dirty, filthy StarCraft ripoff, didn't you?
I showed you a game that had a lot of StarCraft fans excited about it because they had about it, and I was like, eh. Like, StarCraft 2 has a fun campaign, but I was never really big on the multiplayer component for the game. Too much micro nonsense. I like my Supreme Commander.
So, Gates of Pyre, Immortal Gates of Pyre. A StarCraft game in which you play StarCraft races, maybe. Who do StarCrafty things?
Not quite. It's fantasy, so it's not, instead of being like it's kind of like a mixture of StarCraft 2 from what I've saw the early gameplay footage, and it's but also a little bit of Warcraft 3. So the idea of the game is it's very similar. You got the sort of same systems from what I've seen. It's getting a little bit of traction. It's got an interesting art direction. I mean, it's got some unique ideas visually, but there's not a whole lot of stuff out. There's no beta, there's no alpha. There's just a couple of people that had some access to the game or the prototype build, and they showed it off. And it very much looked like StarCraft 2, but like with a mixture of Warcraft 3. So it's kind of good, in my opinion, to see this come along, because I know a lot of people are upset about what Activision Blizzard's done to Warcraft 3 and what they've done to StarCraft 2. And so this is good that we might actually see some possible alternatives to that. Assuming this game is competently made, of course.
Many assumptions are made.
But it's good.
Many
It shows that the RTS genre still has people interested in it, and that there are still other developers that are wanting to push into this market. And they're definitely
it still has
pushing.
a tiny bit of life. A little bit of life.
So it's good. So yeah, that's another RTS. I figured I'd mention it because it's much like that other one we mentioned briefly on stream. I played a little bit. It was called BAR, B-A-R. It's a free one that uses the TA Spring engine. Is basically a callback to Total Annihilation. So we got a couple of little RTSs popping up here and there, and especially with Company Heroes. So there's a couple RTSs here and there. So I'd say things aren't looking too bad. Nothing amazing or groundbreaking. As it turned out, EA's final reveal about what they wanted to do is we're going to be getting a new Dead Space, but it's going to be in a remake, a remaster. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that, but I was kind of hoping for an actual CNC Revival. I guess that's on hold still.
You dirty corporate shill apologizing for EA.
When
Just
did
give
I
up, cunt.
apologize? I just want Command
Their
Conquer.
their EA cunt. Command and Conquer is dead. It's taught. It's gone.
Command and
It's
Conquer
simply
spawned
gone.
other RTSs. There's a little known, like the Battle for Middle Earth series, Battle for Middle Earth 1, 2, and Wrath of the Witch King. And then there's the Dune RTS series, which are all basically part of the Command and Conquer family. Honestly, the revival of CNC would be a godsend if they did it right. And they didn't do what they did to Tiberium Wars, where they're like, we're going to make it so it's kind of dumbed down for consoles. And then it's like, oh, thanks. Really
I want to make it perfectly
appreciate
clear
it.
to everyone that I 100% disavow Kyle's corporate shill attitude on this matter.
I don't see how I've shilled at all. I just criticized them, and now I'm being called a shill by you. I think the only one who's trying to use reverse psychology is you. You're on the side of EA, aren't you? You're like, yes, Command & Conquer's dead.
Command and Conquer is indeed dead.
Fandom isn't.
And it deserved to die. It deserved it.
You haven't seen ModDB. They're still wiggling.
It's just like the final nerve endings of a gutted fish, like flop, 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 kill me, put me out of my misery.
Got some really good mods, actually.
No, I refuse. I do not accept this.
The true CNC, the followers of Cain in chat understand Kib. Peace through power. Red power. Red.
Disavow Kib, says the chat. Good, good. See, nobody likes it. It's just it's dead. Kyle, you're
What are you talking about?
simping for EA. Ashamed. Ashamed.
I haven't said anything about EA. I just said CNC.
You have now.
Archie's like, I'm clever. You little monkey.
Now that he has been thoroughly put in his place, next important topic is the next in a long line of handheld consoles, which will inevitably fail miserably. Isn't that right, Kyle?
The Steam Deck. Honestly, the more I look at it, the more I kind of low-key want it. There's something about the novelty of playing fucking Halo in my hands, though. Okay? Like, it's just like a childhood thing. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if I could play Halo on the go? Because on PC
Will it
now.
even run Halo, though? Because this is the thing with the Steam machine, right? This is Steam's second attempt at making kind of a console-y thing. The previous one was the Steam machine, which they were working together with like Alienware or something, and it just kind of disappeared from the face of the earth.
I have one of their things, the one that was supposed to be able to stream it to other rooms. And then I got the Steam controller, which is, oh god, analog. Look, there's a reason why analog sticks are fucking amazing. Touchpad, yeah. And actually, I will say this, the Steam VR system is actually remarkably good. They've actually seemed to learn. They understand the power of analog, which HTC Vive hasn't. And their stupid touch controls. Oh, the index controllers are amazing. I want them, but they're like fucking hundreds of dollars, and I ain't paying fucking hundreds of dollars for some controller. Fuck that. But I was actually surprised. Did you know how much of a loss they're operating with this? They're taking an awful risk there, Lord Vader. Like, they're taking a pretty big fucking risk here with this thing. Like, $400 at launch, that's really cheap, considering the hardware and software inside this little thing. Like, why? Why so cheap? And I watched a little bit of an interview with Gabe, and he seemed to be like, it's painful, but I think they're trying to get into the market and start competing with the Switch, because the Switch has been dominating, actually. Kind of insane.
Most consoles operate at a loss initially, and pretty severe loss too, but the hope is that once you have an installed user base, you will be able to benefit from this on software, on games, etc. And once you have a installed user base as well, you can sell them new silly consoles in the future. So I think they're making the right choice there by offering it at a low cost, because they need to break into the market. I will also say that this is a very proactive move from Steam here. Unlike, again, Epic, who simply just sits back and goes like, we're just going to lock games behind an iron particulo and force you to use our systems. Steam just kind of leans back and goes like, we're not worried about that at all. Like, we'll take your competition and we'll even expand to different markets. We
Not
will
even
increase
just
our
that.
market share.
This thing will allow you to install Windows on it, and you can run emulation or other games on it that weren't originally intended to run on. They're allowing it to be tweaked and bent. That is actually a pretty
Which
big
is
deal.
another very interesting too, because Tim Sweeney, the owner of the Epic thing, was actually super excited for the launch of this new Steam thingamabob. And I believe it's because he realizes that what Steam is doing here is they are releasing a hardware with a system that they have developed, and they are opening it up for everyone. Basically, what they're doing is exactly what Apple has done with their Apple OS, but unlike Apple, who gates everything, Steam is gating nothing. Which again knocks the legs under Apple's argument that what they're doing is simply an industry standard practice. So I'm not surprised that Epic is quite happy with this.
Mm-hmm. And as far as this goes, like, if I had to be honest with you, let's say I wanted to buy a laptop. Well, I'd pick up a laptop for work related things. But let's say you wanted something portable for an entertainment machine on the go, and you live on the go. Because I've talked to a few subs who are actually truckers, and so they have just like little laptops or little things or switches or whatever because they're compact. They fit in small places and they're easy to store. This is actually right up that alley for what it is, assuming it's actually good, of course. And that's another assumption as well. What we've seen, they claim to be able to run pretty much anything on it. Pretty modern, I should say. And seems to run pretty well from some of the footage I've seen.
Well, there's as well, because there's been a lot of little back and forth nonsense there where they claim it'll run all kinds of stuff. And I've also seen claims that apparently it can't even run stuff like Battlegrounds Unknown, that kind of thing, or Fortnite or other cartoony things. So I guess we won't know until it's actually on the market and you can get some hardcore data on it. Because right now there seems to be a lot of confusion, if, buts, and whens about what it's actually capable of.
It's a pretty interesting piece of hardware, though. And I gotta say, this is actually completely where I was expecting. Not just, I wasn't expecting Steam to do this, but in my opinion, I've always said this, but I think the future of console gaming is where the Switch has gone. It's portability. There's come a point in which PCs are getting cheaper and easier to acquire, except for that whole GPU nonsense with the fucking Bitcoin thing or whatever. That's racking up the price of GPUs. Like they're becoming more accessible, and more people are getting into PC gaming now. And I think consoles are basically just becoming low grade PCs, so they're either gonna just make like easy to purchase computer, or they're just gonna start transitioning into mobile stuff, because the technology for miniaturized like GPUs and DPUs and all that stuff and fitting it in here is actually pretty advanced now, so they can actually fit a lot of power in those little handheld things.
There's also the fact that this is an excellent way to go after the excuse me, casual market. Because you can buy like a $400 console and give it to your mother and be like, "Hey, mom, you play Peggle?" It's like, "Yes, play it on this." Whoa,
Portable Peggle.
Portable Peggle. But it's unironically a thing. Like, it's a way to bring a lot of very casual people into playing a little bit more wildly than just on their phone. Because $400 is hardly an impediment for like a decent game system. And since you can install Windows on it, I mean, this isn't just like a gaming thing either. You know, I'm assuming it has some kind of Wi-Fi connection. You pop internet on it. Now you have basically a tiny little portable computer. You could use it to write shit, to work on it, to bring it with you, hook it up to a TV screen, use it to run movies off, etc. I think marketing it more like a utility rather than just like a gaming kit will help Valve out greatly. And just be like, this is just a tiny little PC that's designed first and foremost for games, but can be used for anything.
You can watch movies, listen to music, etc. on it. And that's actually pretty
Yeah.
cool. Like you just plug it into your TV. Like you have a portable entertainment system now. Again, like
And
I said,
it's
for
a
portability, it's
powerful
great.
portable entertainment system. It's not just a Switch that just does games. You can put whatever the hell you want on this little bastard thing, you know?
You know what I'd put on there? Warcraft 3. There you go. Fucking old school.
Reforged.
No, no, take that back. That's disgusting. See, I just play a lot of old games, so I'd put Medieval 2 on it. That'd be difficult to play.
I think that would be a pain in the ass, yes. But there's lots of little silly games. Like there's tons of little silly like side-scrolling indie games you could put on there, for example. You know, stuff that's one step above Peggle, not quite complicated enough to freak out your mommy, but still usable.
I mean, you'll
And hey,
probably be able to run most modern things on it fairly well.
well, that's not the thing here, because if they're aiming this partially towards the casual market, which I think inherently
Indies,
part
Doom, Battlefield, there you go, bam.
yeah, so, but even then, like a handheld solution like this will inherently be aimed, at least in part, at a wider casual market. And in those cases, you want something easy to play, something nice, something comfortable. I mean, hell, that's why the Wii U, the Wii was such a massive success, because it was baby's first child rearing device. You know, you put the child in front of the Wii, and it waggles the stick at the screen, and mommy can go do something else, like pleasure herself.
Okay, that was a twist. Actually, I was surprised. You know, the Wii gets a lot of slack because even in this generation, it was extremely underpowered. And when it came up with the Wii U, which is actually one of those underrated consoles in terms of, it had some really good ideas, but like the Wii is actually a pretty solid platform for what it was and for what it could do. Like, if I was to go back, I'd probably play the Wii over like the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3 because most of that stuff has been ported or it can be emulated on PC. And the thing about the Wii is it has the gimmick of the motion sensor thing. That was very much a gimmick of its time, but it was fun. Like, who doesn't remember playing the Wii Sports and bowling? That was fun. That was amusing.
Yeah, you grabbed a little piece of plastic and you wiggled it furiously around like an Alzheimer's patient walking the streets. Then you will inevitably slip and you launch the piece of plastic into your television. Luckily, television screens are surprisingly durable these days.
There's a certain novelty in the idea of this device. It's mostly, personally, I've always had the idea, like, wouldn't it be kind of retarded if I could play Halo on my hands? And like
On my hands.
Like add a little tiny device the size of my phone.
That is really retarded, Kyle. You can't play computer games on your hands, you dumbass.
Like the idea of playing games on like this tiny little device is a novelty factor for me, and that's the attractor for me. It's the novelty of doing that thing. Be like, I did that. It was expensive, but I did it.
It was expensive, and now my eyes are going to be even worse. Well,
my neck
device.
is you hunched over.
But I do think it does have some potential. But at the same time, I want to remind everyone of the Steam machine that was supposed to be the portable PC that you could bring everywhere, and nobody heard from it ever again. Because at the end of the day, this is very much so is the market ready or not for a tiny Retido PC?
Yes, it's all about how it's received. It's like the same thing with Half-Life Alyx. You remember following that at all? Were you...
No.
Okay, so Half-Life Alyx was the Valve's first attempt to launch a VR video game, and they did not expect it to perform as well as it did. In fact, it overperformed, as in it outperformed their expectations. And it's one of the games that if you have a VR, like, it is the premier game to get. Like, it is the VR experience. Like, you will get, like, I can't describe it. Crawling around on the ground because I'm panicking and, like, emptying the magazine out of my pistol because I've dropped the fucking pistol bullets everywhere, and trying to pick them up while head crabs are everywhere in the dark while using a hammer to thwack them away. There's something amazing about that experience that I can't quite describe. It's an interesting experience, okay?
It's all about timing. It's timing. Because I remind you, it was Microsoft, of course, who first invented the bloody tablet thingy, and nobody liked it. Everybody hated it. Everybody laughed at it. And then Apple was 5 years later, like, hey, we've got a thin PC. And now people are literally buying the same goddamn product for twice the price every year.
I would never buy an iPad, though. Those aren't novelty. Those are just garbage. Ugh. No.
Well, you would only buy an iPad if you were a very dubious moral character, but that's a different.
I need my spiced fucking what was it? Spiced latte or something.
Pumpkin spice latte, specifically.
Pumpkin pie. See, pumpkin pie is one of those things, right? Where it's not very good, but if you put enough whipped cream on it, it tastes good, and so you come to like it because you just covered in whipped cream.
Yeah, but at that point, you're just eating whipped cream.
With a little bit of pumpkin in it. That's pumpkin pie to me. It's whipped cream with a little bit of pumpkin. Oh my god. I don't know. I like the idea of it. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I'm probably not going to buy it, but I like little gadgets like this. These things fascinate me. I'm curious to see where it goes. Or if it doesn't go anywhere. Turns out the Switch was just a one-off success, and it was actually not an actual market after all. Are you getting up the next article, or are you just being silent? For no particular reason. Man, I think he's dead.
I'll do a couple more super chats, and then we will get on to the next topic, which is the spiciest topic of the day, the one most likely to get yeeted off YouTube forever. Andrew Apalatugui. Greeting, friends. Hope you're doing well. I don't know if someone asks you this already, but did we... the Kill Team video. I did not urinate on it, but did you see the Kill Team video they released? Honestly, the only good GW can do is make cool trailer videos. I actually haven't seen it, because I've just completely kind of separated myself from GW news for a while now. I'm just like,
You're not really missing anything, to be honest. It's fairly mediocre, and it's here to sell you more plastic. Like, the problem with when I see a GW anything, I'm like, they just want me to buy the dumb plastic, don't they? Like, I don't care. Like, fuck off and die so another studio can buy up the IP and do something with it.
This is why I'm not at all threatened by GW being like, we're going to make official lore. You're going to make 5-minute commercials. That's what you mean.
Gilliman sucked the penis of the other space marines. It's like, okay.
Sujad says, will you ever be doing weekly Fortnite games with fans? No.
Yes.
No, I don't think...
You'll do it by yourself. Fuck you.
No, I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon. No.
That's so in left field. I love it.
That seems unlikely. It seems very unlikely, I'm afraid. Probably no. And if any of my fans are playing Fortnite, I am disappointed in you.
We expected better. Like, Fortnite, of all the games, like, if you're gonna play a battle royale, at least play something with class. I'm sure there's
something
one out
with
there.
Class. Oh yes. Oh yeah, a battle royale with class, like the one with the gender fluid people, or where the only white male is called toxic. Those classy games. Come, Kyle. This genre does not have class, Kyle.
Look,
what's wrong with you?
I'm trying to think of a game that is like a battle royale that is better, and I just think survival games like Valheim or fucking The Forest or something. Those are better. They're nothing like battle royales, though.
They're nothing like it. That's.
But maybe that's why they're better.
Hold on. Okay. Chat says. All right. Ah, yes, you are indeed correct. Weekly fortnightly games with fans. No, Fortnite. That makes slightly more sense.
Oh, he meant something else. He's like,
Yes.
I was left it.
Yes. And then he sends a super chat to correct himself, like 5 seconds after. I was like, oh, right.
You're really grinding
Well.
him for money, aren't you? Like, I'm getting
Right, well,
squeezed.
there you go. Um, I don't know. Like we would have to probably. I do the streamy nonsense on Kyle's channel, so that's probably where we would do that if we were to. So look at Kyle, I guess, and be like, "Are you going to do this?"
I mean, I know what game specifically.
I don't know. Oh, it's just games, which is a broad topic.
On the Bickering Bunch YouTube channel, we stream games. Today we're gonna stream Red Dragon, and sometimes we do requests if they're good.
Well, we're gonna play. We're gonna play a brilliant new up-and-coming, explosive, adventure-filled, open-world MMO.
Oh
soon.
God.
Amazon's Indian Simulator. You can play that with us. I wouldn't recommend it. It's like $50 for the deluxe edition to get early access.
That's I guess we can.
I
Spoil
am not expecting to enjoy myself, and yes, it's like it is the only big MMO that's coming out. So it's like, try it.
Yeah, Arch and I are going to be streaming New World. Now, I don't recommend anybody get it. The only reason why we're going to stream it, and the only reason why I suggested that we stream it to Arch was like clicks. Like, that's the only reason. It's the reason why I'm nagging him about Total War Warhammer 3, even though I hate Total War Warhammer.
Yeah, we're not playing that. Fuck CA.
I hate the game and I hate CA, but we should play it for the clicks. Like, that's how you get clicks, though. That's how you do YouTube. And Archie's like, we need to take YouTube seriously, and we need to start doing things to get clicks. I'm like, you want to start doing it seriously? We're going to have to play games we really don't like. And that means Total War Warhammer. Listen, we can bitch about it. Oh, I hate the idea of giving them money, though. That's really bad.
Well, you should. You should pirate
it. No, I can't do that. I'm considering my job. That would be bad.
Silly Gibbs.
Gibbs buys games.
Coronor says, any hope of you making a Cyphers Kane lore video? Have been enjoying the books a lot. P.S. Breed Gibbs. Eventually.
You should, because Alpha Busa didn't, like, they tried to character assassinate Cyphers Kane.
I'm sure they did.
He's just a little poo-poo head.
But then I need to reread all the books, and it'll take me a month, maybe. Eventually.
Yeah, we have a lot of work. We've got some Star Wars stuff to do.
So many things. But Shrift Nation, my overlord, I must depart at 6 a.m. here in Japan, and I have not slept since 1300. But before I sleep, will you do another Subverse video? I got the game and I love it. I bid you and the communal concubine good night.
Communal concubine.
I like this. You may stay. In fact, you are granted preferential treatment from now on. I shall remember thy name.
The fan art is
communal
answer enough
concubine.
Already.
That is a good term. I enjoy it.
No.
I probably will do little updates on Subverse when they do major updates, just because it pisses off the right people. And because it's kind of funny.
Oh god, we did stream The Last of Us 2. That actually got amazing viewership. I hated every minute of it. It set a record on our channel. Thank god we broke that record. Fuck that.
We broke it with bar trauma.
Oh god.
Which was horrible.
Sinky boats.
Swift Nation also, again, says, I forgot the mandatory send-off. Breed Gibbs. See, this guy's good. I like him. He can stay.
He can stay.
Average Estonian says, still, damn, CNC went out with a whimper, but CNC 1 Remaster was still nice. Change since former Westwood got changed to make it, but still damn shame. CNC's dead.
The CNC Remaster is actually pretty good. Pretty faithful to the original.
Let it die.
And they added all the bonus cooperative missions, and they got the band back together. Well, actually, back together. They got them, well, they did, programmer-wise, and they did get the original musician, Frank Klepacki. I said it right this time. Don't yell at me. And he actually did some of the tracks. Some of them are a little bit downgrade, but you can still play it. Like, the remaster for CNC is pretty faithful. Now I just want one for at least Red Alert 2, Heroes Revenge, Tiberian Sun, and Firestorm. Please, love of God, that's all I'm asking. That's all I'm a simple man. I just want my OG Tanya. Okay, I'll simp for Tanya. She was badass. And don't forget, was it Natasha or whatever the liaison was for the Soviet Union?
Whatever her name is, she looked good in leather.
She did. She'd look good in HD, wouldn't she?
She probably would. I wouldn't mind a COH2 Red Alert 2 remaster, but the thing is dead. Give it up.
No. EA, give it to me. EA, you're no longer the worst kid on the block anymore. That's not saying much, considering Activision's.
True. That's Activision.
Activision's like, hold on, EA. I know you're getting a lot of shit. Let me just be an absolute cunt to everyone. And EA's like, thanks. Now I'm no longer the worst person ever. Now I'm just kind of shit.
See, I need to wean Kyle off the cursing because you need to stop cursing here.
Dad, listen. You'll donate more if I curse.
The F word is bad enough. Like that one just falls out on occasion, but the C word is equivalent to the N word as far as YouTube is concerned.
Listen. Australians taught me that word.
Yes, and you need to unlearn it now.
Australians are like, we like saying the C word, mate. And then they say it in the raspy voice because they have that voice problem.
They do have that voice problem.
You know.
And Glowy says, off topic, but read the Warhammer Talos campaign. See what you mean, Arch, when you say the tower handle with kid gloves. Imperium has void supremacy, never uses it. Commander doesn't want to split forces, but then split forces in most inopportune moment. I know. I have read the Talos campaign. It is awful. It's literally just simp.
Who?
Quiet.
Who is the campaign? Explain for those who don't know.
No, if they don't know, do they deserve to know?
They do. Now, what's this campaign about?
They don't. So, though it's idiocy after idiocy. That's the worst part of it. It's an Imperial armor book, a la the Vrux and the Badab stuff I did.
Yeah.
Except it truly and properly demonstrates the absolute military ineptitude of Games Workshop writers. A lot of these people know how to make fairly decent stories, but they wouldn't be able to tell the butt from the barrel of most shotguns. To the point where the Tau just chill out in the desert in ambushes in their bloody tanks with engines running and everything, and then they fire like ion cannons, which would turn half the desert around them to C-word, glass every time they fire, and yet the Imperials can't find the tanks. Like, they've got aircraft overhead, they've got artillery spotters, like, nope, can't see them. What about the glass planes over there? Nope. Just sand. How about you bomb the areas that aren't sand? That'd be cheating.
See, this is against the Tau, isn't it? Because it sounds like plot armor. The Tau come in and they're like, there's bad. The Tau and the Necrons are the two races in 40k that always waddle in and they're like, I deflect logic and reason. Tau Empire. I'm a speck on the map, but I can face on the entire Tyranid and Imperium by myself. This is why I don't really like modern 40k stuff. And the Necrons, don't even get me started. We have bullshit upon bullshit. We're like, mega ancient space empire that can destroy galaxies if we just want to. But we choose, or planets, but we choose not to.
We are elected not to destroy you today. Be grateful.
We're just misunderstood beep boops. Say, okay, whatever.
You're a misunderstood beep boop.
We're just Tomb Kings reskinned. Unoriginal, uninspired.
On to today's spicy topic before we do the rest of the super chats. And I've chosen Al Jazeera as a source here. Very specifically. Because as you will know, I have in fact become a practicing Muslim. Just so I can't be screwed by YouTube anymore. Just bear that in mind, YouTube, when we're talking about this, okay? I know you like the old man, but you can't persecute me. I need to talk about this a little bit here, because this is one of those things. It's over the last week, we've seen Google be slapped with two massive fines €100,000 from Germany and £425 million from France. And I'm ecstatic about it, as is everybody else. And they should be happy about it, because big tech deserves everything coming their way. They have been asking for this pounding now for a very, very long time. And finally, their chickens are coming home to roost. But the moment this happens too, there's going to be an equal and far greater opposite reaction from those who smell weakness here. And now think to themselves, okay, but we could just pressure these companies now to become our private propaganda arms. And so you've got the Lich Master-in-Chief here saying that social media is literally killing people with misinformation. Now, he does not wish to elaborate on precisely what misinformation is, but it presumably has something to do with the Voldemort virus, as everything does this day. And the gist of it is he wants social media to ban you on all platforms. He wants Twitter, Facebook, all of them to cooperate to ban a person across all social media. He's literally advocating open, legalized collusion between private companies.
Good. Palpatine, aka Biden, has begun his New World Order. Oh no!
It's so frustrating too, because you look at Twitter, and you're censorious little shits. You should be ashamed of yourselves. And you look at Google, and you say the same. And then a politician steps into the room and goes, "You should be ashamed of yourselves. You're not censoring anywhere near hard enough. Let me show you my raging authoritarian hard-on."
He's like, I learned this from a man with a toothbrush. We need to silence all opposition.
He just comes into the room, tutting like, "Didn't you read Mein Kampf?"
It's a pretty good book, I hear. All the kids are reading it. It's like, Biden, World War I's over. He's like, what?
World War One, in fact.
What do you mean? How's the Tsar doing? It's like, God fucking damn it. He's dead.
Probably also carries around, like, it's a little old hat, but this lovely book, 1984, too, very, very informative. Yes, we know. Oh, but it really is a case of whenever you think social media has gone too far, the government might just step in and demonstrate to you, no. Not far enough. We're working on it. Don't worry. I hate it. I hate every part of it. I hate every single literal part of it. And it's being used as an excuse. And the worst part is, too, we've actually seen social media and even, I've got a Guardian article I'm going to make a video on later, which is absolutely hilarious, where the Guardian suddenly is like, oh, free speech is very important. Oh, you don't say. You don't say. Even Netflix is like, stop bringing politics into our bloody zombie apocalypses, you lunatics. And then, just as we're starting to see some progress, the old political god finally catches on to the potential of social media and goes, yes, we would like a piece of this pie. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is your fault. You know that, right? This is your fault.
It isn't. I voted the right way.
Oh.
Unfortunately,
Let's not use
I didn't
the
start.
V word.
You know, Kibbs should start stuffing ballot boxes. I hear it's a very lucrative business. Or just like, don't channel.
I'd rather you just shouted the N-word at the top of your lungs, frankly. You'd be less likely to take offense at that.
Shall we talk about the Musk? He's so sweating beads over there. You know that meme where there's like that fucking radio operator and he's like wipes his face with the sweat, but it's like water pouring on his face? That's you, right? Like, no, don't say it.
So long as we don't use the F word anymore. That one's the real touchy one.
I found it. That's you.
Good
right
job.
There. Now chat knows too. Arch, when you start talking about the E word.
Now, the C word we can talk about, a little bit at least, is Cuba. Cuba's been a hot button topic as the population has finally decided we don't want to be communists anymore. Like, starving's really shit. We have a, what was the definition of famine again, Kyle? A scarcity of food intake.
Oh my god, I forgot about that conversation yesterday.
A scarcity of food intake. Yes.
Oh god. But don't worry. The commie sympathizers are out in full force too. They're like, the embargo did it to them.
Ah, yes. The fun fact is, there is actually no US embargo to Cuba on medicines or food stuff. There is a specific exception in the embargo on that allows that to be imported. I think America was the second or third largest food wholesaler to Cuba, and yet they still can't feed their people. So how is starvation, excuse me, lacking intake of sustenance always such a problem in these countries?
I don't know. All I know is it's always interesting to see how the little commie sympathizers come out when they're all like, because they come out and they're like, this is this color flag revolution. It's like, it doesn't even matter if it is. Like, I don't even care. Communism needs to be rooted out and destroyed wherever it is found.
It literally is the case of a person standing there going like, a socialist communist dictatorship is starving, and somebody bumps into the scene going, how did America do this?
How could America have done this? Until
How could Biden have starved Cuba? How could he have done this? I don't know. It's weird. Oh, and suddenly too, there's a ban on immigrants. The Biden administration said that if you come to America via a raft, you wouldn't have arrived legally. Like, oh, really, really?
Awfully suspicious.
Well, I mean, at least it's nice to see some border control, I guess.
Against the Cubans, who are actually oppressed, but okay.
Minor, insignificant details, as it turns out.
Cuba's actually an oppressed nation, and many people flee there because they don't want to be gulagged and, put in their little concentration camps, basically. I don't blame them.
And then Boag throws a little... See, we're already talking about something spicy, and then Boag is like, let me just sneak in the super
He
chat
follows me on Twitter, I know that.
Get at the back of the line, Mexican.
He's like, sí, señor Keeb.
All right, let's do the rest of the super chats then. Glowy says, non-SJW groups of people continuously get abused by big tech. Ask help from establishment, all right? Then they go, we can't do nothing about it. 6 thumbs up their asses. Then Lich Commander goes further, then they get it somehow. That's true. I mean, the Lich in Chief has actually managed to scare big tech. I wasn't joking when I said that Jack Dorsey sits there with cold sweat running down his face when Diane Abbott pulls down her trousers in front of him and goes, let me show you what actual tyranny looks like. Poor Jack. I feel for him. I really do. That is not a sight any man should ever be forced to behold. And yet, it is the fate he made for himself. Yes. Average Estonian. Wait, I read that. Boag, Steam controller, Steam Link, Steam Box, Vive 4, hardware products that Steam released and then just forgot about. They'll do the same for this. More than likely. Don't listen to the corporate shill Kyle who's like, this should be good. I can play Halo on my hands now. Like he's a monkey.
I think you're selectively quoting things. I said I find the novelty of it interesting. The thing with Valve...
You did say you wanted to play it on your hands.
I do. The thing is, with Valve, if it's successful, they support it. They always do. But it needs to be successful. If it fails, then it gets dropped. I don't really blame them for dropping a product that fails. That's also why you don't buy these things on launch either, because that's stupid. Like, oh, I bought it, and it's like, oh, it's garbage. No,
Oops.
thanks. I'll wait until it's like $5 in a bin somewhere, and I'm 90. Like, see, I told you. I've got no interest in actually
I
picking
knew
one up.
it would be a hit with the kids. Nichniv. I swear half of these names are literally designed to torment me. Arch, 2 questions. 1, how familiar are you with Warframe and its sci-fi lore? It's rather neat. 2, will you ever return to Cyberpunk? 1, not familiar in the slightest. Beyond, it looks like it has lots of humpbacky things that have violent intercourse with one another. And 2, we're living in Cyberpunk. I have no choice.
The Cyberpunk, like, craze, it's, like, fizzled out with the Cyberpunk game. And if poetic,
The
when you think
game
about it.
released, and it turned out that CD Projekt Red had made lots of poo-poo in their diapers, which
The
was
game is
unfortunate.
garbage. Like, even at best, it's mediocre, and that itself is a carnal sin coming from CD Projekt Red. Expect better.
Expect better, but receive the worst.
Receive garbage. No good. No.
You
What?
receive garbage. CD Projekt Red receives $300 million.
Like, foolish Westerners.
Oh, foolish Westerners. They'll buy anything. Cody Davis says, I can see the deck being akin to a universal remote on steroids that can connect and access functionalities for basically all of the tech in your house. See, I both like and I can tell you see where you're coming from. But do we need more universal remotes? It's like it's another Alexa that's like, I spy on you. Yes, I know. Go in the closet.
If you have
No.
Windows, your computer's spying on you.
Yes, I know. That's the problem. And you can put Windows on this thing.
I mean, it's your choice. At least you get to opt in for that.
Oh, yes, opt in. It's very optimistic of you.
Don't worry about it. You can't opt out, though.
I do like that meme. Or was it? There's a woman in the kitchen, like 1950s. There's a man with his hands out, like, yet. No spying in my house. You want to put a landline in my house? The government could tap my phones. Don't go. Rah, 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 rah. And there's the next meme with a woman cooking pancakes, asking Alexa, hey, spying device, give me a pancake recipe. It's like, beep, boop, FBI, yes. I do like the fact that we have literal eavesdropping devices in our houses that we ask for.
I mean, you can choose to. Mine was a gift. It's currently unplugged behind me.
You think that'll stop it?
It was a novelty thing. Actually, I do use it for one thing: audiobooks while cleaning or while sorting stuff in different rooms. And then I unplug it when I'm done.
You pulled my cord. You think this will stop me?
I mean, maybe not, but whatever. I might as well use the damn thing.
I heard they won a lawsuit recently, which actually allowed them to put back in a radar feature, which could be active when you sleep. It's literally the Batman thing. You know the one from the latest Batman movie, where they have like radar that sends out signals from every mobile device, and so Bruce can use that to spy on people? Like, that's actually the Alexa now.
Very much so.
Mildly creepy, but only mildly.
Don't we have a couple more subjects to quickly get through?
No.
We do. What about that Twitter thing? Well, not Twitter, YouTube. GW thing. Did we talk about it?
We talked about that. What's wrong with you?
We did? Oh, I don't remember that.
God, old woman.
What about
10 So John says, I didn't mean Fortnite. Every 2 weeks, you smooth brains. I'm not the one who has to use a dumb word, okay? It's like Fortnite. You don't say Fortnite. You know what Fortnite means in the modern society.
On a fortnight. Like, what are you, Old English? You're almost as bad as Arch with his Mesopotamian. Like, let me just use Mesopotamian words on you. It's like Arch, Mesopotamia hasn't been relevant for fucking thousands of years. It's like, you fucking king said so.
But see, if you could expand your vocabulary, Kyle, you could stop getting my channel flagged by using the F word every 5 seconds.
The Assyrian Empire, according to their definition. It's like Arch. Nobody cares about the Assyrian Empire anymore. Maybe Sargon, but the rest of us have moved on.
As valuable an addition to the English language as the F word truly is, it can also become a crutch for people with low intelligences, like Kyle's.
I think he's mad, and now he's trying to deflect because Arch still uses words from the Assyrian Empire.
Leonidas says, Arch StarCraft lore when? Right after Kyle starts doing Game of Thrones lore.
Actually, StarCraft lore would be pretty easy to do and it would get clicks. I could even help you with that. It's not very complicated. Humans are Australians in space. There you go.
Well, the dumb humans are Australians in space. The Chad ones that had an empire were not Australians in space.
The Earth Directorate should have succeeded. I agree. They didn't because plot demanded they lose.
Silly willies they were. Glow in the Dark says, when did Arch team up with Tim Pool and Subverse? Subverse are good boys.
Subverse hates Tim Pool. What the fuck?
Yes. Well, I think that was point of the irony there, Kyle. Like, that went over my head. Oh, well, I don't mind either one of them. Like,
they hate each other, though. They loathe each other. And that's funny.
And I will admit, Subverse was a bit childish with the whole Tim Pool thing. I will say, I thought that was unnecessary because it was like, okay, this drama is done with. But
I mean, Tim Pool threatened to sue them. Who's the aggressor here?
Well, they did call him journalist in an email, and I would take hard.
Tim Pool is a journalist.
Yes, but even then,
he is part of the problem. Like, he's become the thing he strove to be against.
Imagine if somebody called you a journalist, Kyle. Like, can you imagine a worse insult?
Imagine. Oh, this is so delicious. Tim Pool is just another journo. There's no difference between him or CNN.
You truly are
a
delicious creature.
I'm now smiling, licking my lips, looking at Chandler. Here it comes! Here it comes! I don't get that about Tim Pool. And then there'll be the one that's like, beast. It always happens. It doesn't matter what you say. Some people will be for it, some people will be against it. Doesn't matter. Just try to have fun with it.
No shit. Harris Estonian says, co-host is right on that. TS and RA2 remasters, and I can die as content person when time comes. Plus, Arch, keep up the good fight. Yeah,
they do need remasters. EA, get on it. Do something.
It never will, though. Like, the thing was, it wanted to show you that Command & Conquer was dead by going like, look, we tried to remaster it. It died. But then people bought it, and now they're like, now people have expectations of us. We didn't want this. We didn't ask for any of this. They won't make the same mistake twice, Kyle.
They might. EA is one of those companies that has managed, like, in the same way Micro... God damn it. My favorite nickname for them I can't say because it has the C word in it. Micro C's. They have pulled the head out of their rear and were like, okay, we're not going to do exclusivity anymore. We're going to start putting stuff on PC. Good job, Microsoft. You did it. It only took you a couple decades, but you did it. Like, we did it. And now look, Sony's doing it. The only one who's sitting there being the R word is Nintendo. They're like, exclusive. Like, stop it. Grow up. Start porting it to other platforms, you absolute Mongolians. Mongoloid? Good word? Yeah, I think so. Exclusivity has always been one of the cardinal sins of the console wars, and now it's come to PC with our platforms. Thanks, Tim Sweeney, or is it Todd Sweeney? I don't remember his name. The guy who looks like a total virgin.
It's Todd.
Tim Sweeney. Todd Howard. That's the other one.
Todd Howard. Poor Todds. All
Howard
across
Power.
the world. Rat power.
Rat Power.
Hager. Every time I hear one of these stories, I get more and more depressed. I'm quickly losing the will to live. It is a depressing world. But fear not, because it's also good, because I am here. I am here to pat you on the head and say it'll be fine. It won't be fine. But, optimism. Also, rat power.
Rat Power.
Rat power should encourage everyone. It should be our rallying cry of optimism. Plus, it would confuse the shit out of a lot of people.
Rat Power. Matt Damon. He's the savior of Rat Power.
Boag, Australians are a joke. Their government took their money and then hired furries to make the 2020 Olympic promo material furry bait.
Yeah.
Alright, now that I'm going to have to look up.
Look it up.
2020 Olympic promo material furry bait. We'll just slap that into DuckDuckGo and see what it comes up with.
I'm scared.
Nothing. Well, that's disappointing.
Linku Chadu, or it didn't happen.
Promo Australia. Let's see. Australian Olympic team promotion. Now this is just a PDF. There's nothing here. Yeah, I don't see no furries. It makes me sad.
I'm kind of happy that it's not a thing.
Boag has created Kyle noises.
Kyle noises?
Very disappointed.
Boog. Dude, Boog's got this little fucking squeaky Mexican accent. It's fucking funny.
Mucho disappointed. Captain Caboose, what is your opinion about the Burr Lemon Ross, aka the Punisher? It is a kawaii thing. Because if you have a Gatling cannon, you put it on a tank instead of the goddamn Americans just like, let's strap an aircraft to it. It's like cute, but it limits the amount of Bert.
No, not Bert.
And of course, Desert Hamster is like, type Woolies into DuckDuckGo. I'm like, I don't know.
Woolies, do it. I'm not doing it. I'm just kidding.
Like, I did, and all I got was blankets. So
okay, my turn. Google.
You're a failure.
Or no. What's it called? Woolies?
Woolies.
Woolies Olympic? Oh my fucking god. What the fuck? There's even scalies! I'm sending it to you.
No. You don't need to,
too
that's
late.
fine.
It's right there. That's actually for rebate. What the actual fuck? Let's
let's have a look at this then. Oh, hi. Right.
I'm pulling it up. Stream, you need to suffer. Be cursed, chat. Be cursed.
Hello, fellow Aussies. The personas I was commissioned to draw by the government are now on sale in a booklet.
By the government. This is the Australian government. Okay, they're a joke. I forgot. So it's not too surprising. It's funny, though. I've heard from many Aussies how terrible their government is.
Okay, now to be fair here, though, the guy or girl or whatever who made these might actually be secretly based.
Why?
Because so one person commented on this, basically going like, "What the hell is this? What the hell? Why do we have outrageously furry mascots?" And the dude is like, "G'day, that's my art and redesign. I had no idea it had finally gone into use, LMAO. Happy to field any questions. Rest assured, the people, read government, employing me had no idea what furries were, but I did."
But I did. I mean, at least...
This is reading like an epic troll.
At least they trolled the government, and then that I can salute.
Also, like, can I just point out as well, like, if you scroll up to the top there, right, where there's the 3 characters, the one on the left, the blonde dog, the blonde like German Shepherd dog. Is it just me, or does that snout look a little bit, reichy?
I think that's just coincidence.
I don't think that. If you clip, no, color his shirt brown, and you have it. Like that is, yeah. We play the football, yeah. I came all along from Australia, sister nations.
This reminds me of a game called Ty the Tasmanian Devil or Tiger or whatever. That's a fun little game. I don't know why it reminds me of that though. Weird Australian game. Platformer. I think that's a kangaroo, says the evolved potato.
I think that's Hitler. Yeah, no, pretty sure.
There's no such thing as coincidences.
There is no such thing as coincidences. That Hitler.
Arch hasn't seen that meme. The one dude with his eyes are fucking fudging. There's something. There's no such thing as a coincidence. I can't be the only one, chat. Come on. We're collectively grinding gears. Sweet.
Boeing decides to be spicy. Opinions on South African looters being bug broken. I think that Tariq Nasheed has a right to keep his own fetishes to himself. There you go.
What about South Africa? Arch, you saw the thing I tweeted about the books. You seem to find it amusing. The bookstore that was not looted in the mall.
That's true.
Well, everything else was.
The only store not smashed and broken into happened to be the bookstore. See, I got into trouble the last time I quoted Chris Rock, so I shall refrain.
Good.
All I'm saying is there's a Chris Rock quote about that, and it does appear to be correct in this particular instance. Brett Birdsheim says, "Fight me, Kibbs. My grasshopper is waiting at Solaris." Fight him, Kibbs.
Grasshopper, you fucking fudging pansy. I will raise you a king crab with UX, and you'll be gone in like 5 seconds. Somebody asks, does Arch have a Discord? He does, but he likes to keep it on the download. You want to chill it here? I know if you're on my Discord, you can just ask Disco for it. Yes,
that's a great idea. Ask Disco for it. She loves it when people send her a request for that.
It's a bit of a convoluted path. Join Kibbs' Discord to ask Discordia for a link to Arch. That's a bit convoluted, though.
Or just start asking her in the chat here. That's fine, too.
I'm sure she's still listening while playing Dungeon 3, if I had to guess.
Happy Disco.
We left her. She was playing Dungeon 3. She was having a good time.
Well. Boag says, if it's successful, Steam will support it. Where's Half-Life 3, Kibbs? Where's the Team Fortress 2 update?
Team Fortress 2 doesn't need updates. As good as it is. Don't change it.
Also, Boag has owned you.
No, Half-Life 3 is probably coming in a couple of years, to be honest. Like, the thing is with Valve, they only release a new Half-Life game to promote their new engine. Which, the new Source engine is on the horizon now. And games are being made in it. They're going to prop it up with a Half-Life game. They always do. Old habits die hard, you see. I'm kind of curious if they're going to add any woke stuff to it. They didn't do it to Alex. I'm hoping they don't, because I actually kind of enjoy the Half-Life game. Even though they're a bit gimmicky, there's, still fun in my opinion.
Your opinion counts for naught.
Don't you like Half-Life? Were you ever big on the Half-Life games, Archie? I've never heard you talk about.
Meh.
Yeah, just kind of. They are just a first-person shooter that shows off tech. Like, that is what they do.
It is a tech demo, but a fancy one, I suppose.
Yeah.
Samuel Eddy says, our vampire-in-chief is doing the best he can in his gilded cage. They hand him fresh children's hair to sniff regularly. Well, that's good.
Fresh.
At least he's enjoying himself. At least somebody's getting something out of all of this. That's
Yes,
good to
our
hear.
economy is already deteriorating under the Biden administration and hasn't been very long.
Oh well.
But at least somebody's having fun.
As long as somebody's enjoying themselves. Streamlabs as well. Glowy, suddenly I see a pushback from people of BLM support of socialism or communism. It's amazing these so-called intellectuals didn't figure this out a year ago, and they said they weren't overt communists. It's because they're idiots. It's fine. They're stupid. The only thing that I regret now is that GW didn't double down and go like, yes, no, we're in support of BLM. I wish more companies were doing that.
Desert Hamster says, Discordia, can I at you in chat if I need something? See, I know he's being a shitlord. Discordia's response, no. Put Desert Hamster in a timeout. It's funny. I like it when he squirms.
Discordia is indeed our communications booth. Just poker.
Oh
Really.
no, shit. Imagine somebody who doesn't like interacting with people, just kind of wants to be left to their own devices, more or less.
Too bad.
I'm just warning people before they fucking awaken some monster that is about to destroy them.
Jaeger says, Arch Kibbs, would you rather have our current universal suffrage or service guarantee citizenship? Myself, latter. Then again, I've done my service like most Finnish men, so I am biased. Right. First and foremost, Finland is a province of Norway. There you have it. And yes, indeed, when you are a province, we will have service guaranteeing citizenship. Mm-hmm. But on a more serious note, I am more and more attracted to the idea of service guaranteeing citizenship. It has so many flaws. Don't get me wrong, there are many, many, many problems with the system as well, but the problem really is, as they say, the moment the population of a democracy realizes they can simply vote themselves free shit, you are in trouble. And we are most assuredly in that stage right now. Now, I still think that better education is the solution. Getting people to actually understand that you're not voting yourself free shit. You're voting yourself higher taxes for free shit.
Yeah, you're actually being scammed for things you don't want to buy.
Yes, you're basically saying, government, give me $100, and they say, okay, and then they take 1,000.
Yeah, a year, but it's over a long period of time, so you don't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
You get this $100 out of nowhere. It's like when Trump gave us $2,000 and then $1,400 or something like that.
Yes, that's the government giving you back your money,
It's like,
and
thanks
then
for
you
my
thank
money.
them.
My money is returning to me.
It's dumb. It's very dumb. Evil Potato says, kids need to learn school swearing. Everyone knows what you're saying, but you aren't actually saying the bad words. Also, you learn it to get away with swearing in school. Yes, Kyle is indeed on the same mental level as a 30-year-old? Yeah.
I mean,
He's doing.
I've been kicked.
Now,
I got kicked out of fucking Catholic school for swearing in like fucking first grade.
Well, you were kicked out from violence, which is different.
No, self-defense. I never actually attacked
Violence.
people. No, I was cornered once as a kid. The only time I ever hurt somebody was because they tried kicking me. I said stop, and they didn't. So I grabbed their leg and I stabbed it with a pencil. Then they laid on the ground and cried, and I was like, "Oh, he stopped." He stopped.
Very much so the Poland invaded Germany approach.
It's like, that's what you get. Don't kick me.
Silly Poland. Look at what you did.
I didn't annex them.
Now, amuse the chat for a few seconds with tales of horror, as I'll be right back.
Tales of horror, chat. Look at these furry pictures, chat. You fucking degenerates. See, I'm not even looking at I'm looking at a different tab that has anime girls on it. I'm not a degenerate. I'm normal. Well, what's this? Arch audience. Fuck, what do they like? What are you guys? Warhammer? God save the Emperor or something. Like, the Emperor is the God. You know, you're kind of right. The Emperor is God. But is it really God? You know, is he really God, chat? Like heresy. Or some Scott Card connotations. Russ, do I need to come over there and beat you up? Every time there's somebody with the Russ, I just have an instinct to beat the crap out of them. Thanks to Russ Bullock for ruining MechWarrior 5 and making it a pee-poo version of the fucking MechWarrior franchise. Oh, it upsets me. Show Warhammer alternatives. What alternatives? You're screwed. You don't have alternatives. More tanks blowing up. Thanks, Gibbs.
Thanks.
Good. Is anyone ever really God? Yes. Me. Praise me. Worship me. Yes. Yes.
David O'Donovan says, want to get SpaceX internet? It's in beta here in Ireland and in the US. Apparently it's amazing, according to some US farmers on their own YouTube channels. Maybe. Once it's more widely available. Yes. And David O'Donovan also says, rat power. I enjoy that.
Look, dear wife who says, only subscribe to Arch for Gibbs. Nice. You're welcome, Arch. You got low tier waifu. He's remarkably snarky. Oh my god, that's right. Every time in my streams you try to fucking like low tier waifu will snark Arch and then he'll just put him in a timeout.
It's the only way to solve a problem.
Like, timeout. I don't want to be talked back.
Glow in the Dark says, Jewish power. I mean, rat power. Ban.
We're gonna play Red Dragon, so there will be Jewish power today.
There will be.
I gifted Hans the game. He's a Jew.
Says Tariq Nasheed and Richard Spencer would be the ultimate power couple. They would have many agreements to have with one another. They would pet in others' heads.
Both heads.
And Tariq would be able to really live out his fetishes.
They can explore them together as a couple.
Victor Salazar. Any place in Norway you'd recommend for someone interested in visiting one day? Yes. Don't. It's very expensive.
Yeah. The only time we've ever talked about doing like a meetup thing was like going to a different country, like Britain or Germany. And that was to look at the museums.
Museums. Now, better... Once the Voldemort virus is finished, like next year, then we can just all go to some southern Spanish island. Yes, those are nice places.
Just sit there and be like, yes. I'd be like, I flew here from America to sit here.
Well, that's literally what you do. You, all services, hotel, and you sit there and you grow fatter.
I have enough time working out to make sure I don't get fat because I have a desk job. And you know how fucking easy it is to get fat when you have a desk job. You gotta fucking wiggle. You gotta move. You gotta be energetic. Otherwise, your arteries are gonna clog and you're gonna fall over dead. Ugh.
A world with a dead Kyle.
Yeah. I'm sure there's many more in the graves. Get some more super chats. Come on. You're slow.
Boeg, just remember to keep your rifle by your side because the one with the sharpest fangs wins. The meme grows. Rip hyena girl and her harem, too pure for this world. Well, she's not dead. It's fine. She's alive. She can still rape. Hyena girl was a good character, though. And finally, Brett Wertheim. Heavies only, kids. Do not be like that. No.
Assaults.
Annie Jaeger. Province of Norway. Yay, the GDP skyrockets. Just keep the Swedes apart or they'll have a nice civil war on your hands, of course. Sweden will be a separate and less equal colony. Swedes won't even have voting rights. Screw those people.
See, in Victoria, we can do that. You can be Norway and you can be like, Sweden, no rights. No.
No rights.
Colonize. Remove the Swedish ethnicity. Concentrate them hard. Eradicate them hard. Yes. Genocide Simulator better be good. Or Paradox is fucked up. Oh, didn't say that. Also, we didn't talk about the fucking... Oh, said it again. God, it really just comes like natural, doesn't it? BTM. Bloodlines. I was surprised you didn't want to talk about that today. The whole behind the scenes thing. You missed out.
Because I'm still looking into it. It's not ready for publication yet.
What do you mean it's not ready for publication? They published it.
More things must be found.
He's like, I need to wait for more dirt so I can do a real big piece on it. He is waiting. There's been some leaks, just for context, on the whole VTM development. It looks like it was a big mess.
Shit.
A big mess.
And a final Streamlabs from Glowy. Taro's campaign, get expert in desert warfare. No one expects attacks on supply lines. Never use void ships to bombard tower fixed position. Never use the void ships to shoot down manters. Instead of focusing on getting water, plant, do stupid stuff. Taro's campaign was dumb. And a shameful thing. It was a shame, Carl. And it was, like most things, your fault somehow.
Well, you told me yourself when you were doing research on Brax, when you were first doing the Brax series, I remember you're like, they write these books, but they don't actually understand military history or how military tactics work. And so you have to kind of fix their mistakes because there are tons of them.
Because they be silly boys.
Because they don't research their material. Monkeys.
Luckily, we do. We are good children of God and Allah. Yes. And on that hopeful note, I'll wrap it up today. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Tomorrow specifically, as we will again be promoting Rat Power.
Rat Power. But first, we have to go exterminate the Jewish problem in Red Dragon.
Rat Power.
Don't we?
Rat Power.
Arch, how do you feel about Merkovas?
Rat Power.
He's mad. Merkava time, Arch. Now, how long? Oh, wait. Want to end it? Ready? Wait, nope. Super chat.
Yeah, it's your fault. Ask Weaponized Nerd Rage. He has an insider on a vampire. Insiders.
Poke at him, squeak at him, squeeze him, lick him, sniff him, pat him, smack him.
That's for Kyle to do. Yes. And it's too homosexual for others.
I'm gonna reach out to some YouTuber that I don't know. That's cringe.
You are cringe. That's true.
You have to randomly bump into each other and be like, disgusting. And like, I hate YouTubers. And like, I hate YouTubers too. I'm like, let's hate ourselves together.
Now, have a good